So the next topic we're going to chat about is the training and how over-exercising and training obsession can still lead to causing you to binge eat or maintain a dieting mentality and be halting your recovery. So most people think that recovery is purely based on how they're eating and they can still exercise or train in the same previous manner, but they say are still wondering why they're continually binge eating or why the recovery is not actually going to plan, and a lot of the time it's still coming back to the training because that's maintaining the overall restriction that they've been doing for the last year. It might not be as much because of what they're eating, but the training is still contributing to that mindset and how the body is functioning on a physiological level, like maintaining an energy deficit.
Yeah, I think if you come from eating disorders and you have this dieting in one end and then the exercise, then when people start to eat more and maybe eat their fear foods, the foods they normally binge on, but like for me, I felt that I have to exercise to like undo the unhealthy eating and to make it to feel that at least I'm doing something and it's not gonna turn into fat or something. But it was still the fear of eating disorder and responding to my eating disorder, because it wanted me to maintain my weight and to undo the healthy eating. So it wasn't healthy, like especially like mentally, and it kept me in eating disorder because I was responding to my eating disorder fears. Yeah.
You can end up really like spinning your wheels, and you're eating enough food maybe, and you're not restricting your food anymore, but if you're still over exercising, you are technically in a deficit, and so that is still keeping up that restriction mentality, and it still keeps the cycle in place. If one part of that cycle is still in place, then it continues on until you actually break down that cycle completely. And so, yeah, we do see a lot of our clients, especially overtraining, training insane amounts of times a week. It's just, you can just pick it and you just think, you're not going to come to the place of recovery if you continue this way. So it's more about moving in a way that feels good for your body and just bringing it back to, training for enjoyment again, or exercising in a way that makes you enjoy what you're doing rather than punishing yourself. It is a lot about punishing yourself and trying to suppress your weight through overtraining.
And I guess too, like a lot of it on the training side, it's all tied in because, like you girls have said, when people say start on this road, it's never just I'm going to eat in this certain way. It's I'm going to eat and exercise in this certain way to have this outcome. And then when they fall into the unfortunate situations that they do, it's still viewed as only the food side of things, when in reality it's still both of them. Yes, the food is causing like a big issue with their, say, mental state and what they're doing on an eating side, but the training is like either just disregarded, not thinking it's having an impact, when in reality how they are exercising is still from that same drive and mindset of dissatisfaction and wanting to change and punishment and all that sort of stuff. So even though their eating is different, they're still training in that same way and just maintaining that same thing. And it's like you said about the food and the binge recovery foods and eating them to excess and stuff like that. It's all the opposite with the trainer. It's like, no, I can't not train, like that's not going to be good for me and things like that, even though how they're actually doing it is unhealthy and not good for themselves. And like I say to a lot of them, if how your exercise and activity is set up now, there'll be no way you can maintain that forever, and you're being tired and lethargic and all that sort of stuff, even if you're eating more. Like there's no amount of food that's going to balance out the amount of training you're doing to get you back into recovery, because all of it needs to be in that one place.
Yeah, and And I think also, like, people think exercising is healthy, but if your body is unhealthy, suffering from the restriction, and it's suppressed, like your metabolism is screwed up and everything, then it's not gonna help you, and it can actually add like further damage on top. But in recovery, when your body is, I don't know, trying to figure things out, then the best thing you can actually do is to just rest, relax, and sleep more, and you totally deserve it. Like, you deserve to just rest and have time for yourself and reduce all the stress. And I don't mean only like work stress or family stress, but just the restriction and just exercising, over-exercising stress. And it will very much help you to like balance your hormones. And if your hormones are eventually working normally again, then whole your body will change. And of course, exercising can be healthy, but if your mindset is in a place of eating disorder and restriction, then it can just continue with restriction mentality.
Mm.